After we have been exposed to an infection, our immune system remembers the threat, in particular by producing antibodies. These are proteins that circulate in the blood and throughout the body. They quickly recognize and disable the invader upon contact, thereby preventing or minimizing illness. This is why we usually do not get sick with the same bug twice. We are immune. Vaccines mimic this process, encouraging the immune system to make antibodies without us having to go through the illness. Some of the leading SARS-CoV-2 vaccine candidates are mRNA vaccines, based on incorporating the genetic blueprint for the key spike protein on the virus surface into a formula that, when injected into humans, instructs our own cells to make the spike protein. In turn, the body then makes antibodies against the spike protein, and they protect us against viral infection. This strategy is faster than more traditional approaches, which often involve generating weakened or inactivated forms of a live virus, or making large amounts of the spike protein to determine whether they can prompt an antibody response. Once a potential vaccine is discovered, a number of checkpoints exist before it can be administered to people. First are preclinical tests, which involve experiments in a laboratory and with animals. Scientists must ensure the vaccine candidate is not only effective, but also safe. For example, an antibody response to an imperfect vaccine could, under extremely rare circumstances, end up increasing the danger of becoming infected. When the potential vaccine achieves the necessary preclinical results, clinical trials can begin in a small group of people. As the vaccine candidate advances, it is tested on increasing numbers of people, with scientists and doctors closely monitoring safety, efficacy, and dosing. Upon successful completion of clinical trials, the vaccine candidate must be reviewed and approved by regulatory agencies such as the FDA before large-scale manufacturing and distribution gets underway and the licensed vaccine is administered widely.
On the tongue that have no papilla and sort of have a naked look. Not that it's particularly dangerous, it's just another symptom that we sometimes see with COVID. Oh, one other statistics. I just want to mention this very quickly, and I'm going to go into this in more detail. This is an incredible number. A study just came out that showed that people who have periodontitis actually have a much higher rate of having to be hospitalized, be on a ventilator, and higher death rate. And when I say much higher, it's a higher rate than you could even possibly believe. So another reason to keep your mouth as healthy and healthy as possible, really, because if you have a healthier mouth, you are going to be healthier.
And let's take proactive steps. So today, what should you do? Fruits and vegetables, produce make a huge difference. They enhance our immune response. Vitamin D3, which you get from the sun, and when it's a little warmer, that'll be easy for all of us. For most of us in the northern part of the country, taking some vitamin D3, about 1,200 international units a day is wise. And you know what? Getting the flu shot smart, because that way, if you feel ill, you know it's not the flu most likely. Yeah. Still possible, but not. Now, if you do feel ill, what do? Zinc is a great idea. You mentioned it earlier. Vitamin C, but you got to take vitamin C twice a day because it gets washes out of your system pretty quickly. Beta-glucan from mushrooms works. And elderberry, which is an older solution, has been shown to shorten the duration of illness if you already have feeling like you're coming down with something. But take action, be proactive, and recognize that we're the firewall, especially the younger, healthier members of society. If we're healthy, we can't pass it to the older folks that John just mentioned are at a higher risk.
Yeah, we were just wondering, Hoda and I were talking, I'm supposed to visit my mom in a couple weeks. Should I not go visit her if she's in that category of people?
Savannah, if you're, especially over the age of 60 with a chronic illness, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, past cancer, etc., you're at more risk. You're the one who could get into trouble, and it happens pretty quickly. So since you're in a public position where you're exposed to a lot of folks, I would think twice about visiting until we know more about how this virus is handled. In the meantime, things that do make sense. It's daylight savings, messes with our sleep, and sleep is critically important to our immune system. Washing your hands and your fingers, do the Turkish twist. Yeah. Wash this down pretty effectively, and sanitize surfaces, and don't just wipe them down briskly, because that just spreads the virus. You got to get it wet. So spray it or put the wipe on long enough to keep the surface wet so that as it dries, it kills off the viruses. We have a one sheet. We'll put it on the todayshow.com site. I know I gave a lot of information quickly. Take this, use this, post it in your fridge, and share it with people you love, especially older friends.
Dr. Oz, thank you.